This conference will now be recorded.
All right. As you can see, we have a few hearts here. That is our project for today. I do want to remind you of a couple things. The workbook classes for this month. For the Viking ones, we're going to be working with the majestic hoop.
Oh, cool.
Okay, 1 second here. Yes, Betty? I'm sorry. I'm not going to be able to help you right now. What number did you use? 382-373-517? I'm sorry. Okay. Well, keep trying or call the shop. I'm sorry. Thank you. Bye. All righty. Bye. Oh, sorry. Betty DeBerry can't get in. All right. The Viking workshop is on the majestic hoop, the big turnable hoop, and the Pfaff workbook class is on Stitch Creator, which is a really cool function only available on the Pfaff. The other thing I want to tell you about is that there is a contest for to support your local quilt shop. So if you can go to the, it's sponsored by Annie, the people or the company that makes a lot of the patterns that are being used in and available at Sew-ciety for really neat bags and stuff. So it's called the LQS, Local Quilt Shop Contest. If you could just Google that or whatever and vote for Sew-ciety, that would be great. Okay. All right. Let's talk about hearts.
Well, before you get going,
I'm sorry, Mary.
the classes are off a week, right? Like it's not till next week that we have the workbook classes, right? Or even later than that, maybe.
The Pfaff workbook is on the 15th and the Epic on the 22nd.
Right, so it's not the second and third, it's the third and fourth.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, thanks. I just wanted to make sure that the calendar was correct.
Well, that's what I'm going by. So,
right. And you're teaching it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Anything else right now? Oh, there's Betty. Hi. Okay. Good morning, Betty and Peggy.
Yes, I got on finally.
All right, good. All right, today we are making conversation hearts. And this is something I designed and I digitized. So if you have any problems with the directions and or the files, please let me know. But I designed them to have a little pocket in the back so that you could put, you know, a little love note, a diamond ring, a $100 bill, you know, whatever you wanted to put in the back of them. And I made this little bouquet of them as a sample in the shop. And what I did was I took some bamboo skewers, and I don't know if you can see, but I drilled 2 little holes in them and then hand stitched the parts to the back so that I could eventually take them off and use them as my Valentine's gift. So that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to unsew those, and then I'm making some notes to put in the little pocket, and we'll put them in an envelope and send them for my Valentine.
Cool.
So kind of fun. It's a fast, quick, easy project, and what we're going to be learning today is how to put a couple designs together, and also how to put some words into our machines. Okay. So I kind of like to go through the instructions first, and then I'll do a quick demo, and then we can you can make some hearts. So what I'm using, and let me get my camera turned around here, please. Come on. Sorry. Get to see my ceiling for a while. There we go. There, turn camera. All right. Okay. What we got here is I've hooped cutaway mesh in my as my stabilizer in my 120 by 120 hoop, because that's the heart fits perfectly in that hoop. Okay. And then we are going to stitch out a placement line, and that placement line is for a layer of batting in the heart to give it a little stability. And we will I sent you 3 designs for this little heart with the pocket. You're going to use 2 of them, heart 1 and heart 2. Heart 1 is your placement line for the batting, the tack down line for the batting, and the tack down line for the fabric for the front of the heart. Once you have the front of the heart tacked down, do not trim your fabric. This is not an applique. So don't trim your fabric once you've stitched it down. Then you will stitch the words, and then you will use the heart 2 design to put the back of the heart on. And then you'll be done with the embroidery, and you'll take it out and trim it with pinking shears and turn it right side out and press it, and you'll be good to go. So let me show you. Let's see here. All right. Okay, on my screen, I'm going to start embroidery, calibrate my hoop. Then I'm going to bring in my heart designs. The first I'm going to bring in just heart 1. Come on. Okay, and it automatically puts it in the 120 by 120 hoop. Once I have my heart design in, then I'm going to go to my font menu, and I'm going to pick the block 10 font. On the Pfaff, it's at the bottom of the list. And then I'm going to type in the word I want on my heart, and I'm going to use all capital letters, and I'm going to type in the word hugs, and then say okay. Now, I asked you in the instructions to set your grid at 10, and that's because when I set mine at 10, it allowed me to position my letters so that when I did multiple hearts, I could get them all in the same place easily. So on the Viking, you're going to go to this, to set your grid at 10, you're going to go to this little crosshatch symbol on your screen. And then you can set your grid to 10. Stop. Come on. Go back. If I hold it, then it gives me my options. And it tells you the equivalent of the numbers and also inches. So I picked 10 for mine. And before I move my word, it's a little bit small for the size of the heart. So I go to the scale icon in embroidery edit, and on the Epic, it's this one that looks like 3 little squares. On the Pfaff, it looks like a double-headed arrow. And once I've selected that, then I leave my control wheel locked and I use my up arrow to make it as big as it'll go. And when it quits, that's the size that I have used. Then I'm going to, don't do that. Then I want to select just my word hugs. And I want to move it so that the top of the letters are at the top of the second line down on the grid, the second line from the dip in the heart here. Now you can put yours wherever you want, or however you want. You can use whatever words you want. If you want to do 2 lines, then you're going to have to enter each line separately. All right. And I don't have any examples where I have done the 2 lines. So now I actually have 2 lines or 2 designs in there. And I want to bring in my Heart 2 design, not the library, the Heart 2 design, which is this green heart, but I want it centered. That Heart 2 design puts the back on the heart for me. All right. Couple things when I am ready to stitch this out. Before I actually start embroidering, I'm going to change my thread cut options to just the automatic thread cutter, and I'm going to turn on color block merge. Because I could wait and change those right before I stitched out the letters, but it's just as easy to change them now and I won't forget when I go to stitch out the letters. You can do it however it works for you, but I found that this made my life easier. Any questions on this so far?
How did you get to that screen, Judy?
This screen,
Yeah.
when I touched go, when I was in embroidery edit and then I touched go, it brings up my
Yep. Okay. And what'd you
setting
say?
screen
What'd
for
you say?
stitching out. You okay?
Yeah. What did you change it to? Color merge?
Say that again, please.
Did you change it to color merge?
Color block merge, yes.
Okay.
Because it considers each one of those letters a separate thing. As
Okay.
as you can see on my screen,
Uh-huh.
it shows each one of those letters as something separate. So
Okay.
if we color block merge, all the other colors are different for each operation, but those 4 colors here are the word hugs. So if I do color block merge, they're the same color number and it will consider them as one design and not stop. And I've changed the thread cut option to keep it from tying off in between each letter so that the tails don't get caught up on because the letters are close together. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to have a couple extra stops in there when you are, because it's going to say, you know, it's not cutting the thread at the beginning. It'll stop and say, cut the thread tail and things like that. But then I don't forget to do that before I get into the letters, if I've done it for the whole design. All right. So let's see how this stitches out here. Okay, come on camera. You're on camera here. Okay. So I'm ready to go. I'm going to turn my speed down and stitch my placement line for my batting. Okay. So it's asking me to cut my thread tail. Okay, that's my placement line for my batting. Now I'm using fusible fleece for my batting, and I'm putting the fusible side up. It really doesn't matter which side you put up, but I was thinking that if I put the fusible side down and some of that fusing stuff, when I ironed it, if it went through and sealed my pocket together, I wouldn't be very happy. So I decided I'd put the fusible side up. All right. So now we're going to tack down the batting. Okay, now we do want to trim the batting because I don't like to have batting in my seam. So I want to trim the batting out, and the seam that puts the heart together will be just outside of the batting, so it won't be in the seam. And one thing that I like to do before I take my hoop off to trim something is I unthread my needle and I use my scissors to cut the bobbin thread, and then I rethread my needle and take my hoop off so I can trim my batting. All right, and give me a sec here to trim my batting. I just find the thing of unthreading the needle and using the scissors to cut just the bobbin thread. And you really wouldn't have to unthread the needle, but sometimes it'll put extra little tails of thread in the bobbin area, which sometimes we don't need that kind of help. So now I have my batting trimmed and I'm going to put my fabric on it. And I was trying to be, make my hearts look as close to the traditional candy conversation hearts as I could. So in finding fabrics, I'm actually using a piece of grunge fabric, but I'm using the wrong side because that appears as solid and gave me some of the colors that I really liked. This piece is 5 inches high by 5.5 inches wide. So then I'm going to just tack down my fabric for my heart. And okay, when you put your fabric on there for the front of your heart, make sure that you center it as much as possible so you have some fabric below and above your stitching, because you want a small amount of seam allowance when you trim your heart. All right, so now I'm ready for the letters on my heart, and I'm changing to red thread because that is traditionally what is used for the letters on the conversation hearts. And seeing how I was trying to be traditional with this, I'm stitching all of mine in red. And you are going to have jump stitches between the letters because you've turned off the automatic jump stitch trim. Okay, now we're ready to go back to our matching thread. And I do have just regular embroidery bobbin thread in the bobbin. I did not match my threads, which you could do if you would like to. And I'm ready to put the back on. Now the back is folded, doubled pieces, the bottom, and it's not split in the middle. It's because I wanted that pocket, I made the piece for the bottom of the heart bigger than the piece for the top. I'm sorry. So when you put your back pieces on, put your the bottom part on the bigger part first if you want the pocket, and make sure that you have enough over the edge for the seam allowance. And then when you put the top piece on, again, make sure that you're going to have your seam allowance up here at the top, and that you are overlapping 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch. And then you're ready to just stitch it down. Okay, now your embroidery is complete. And our first inclination is to say, okay, to this message that my embroidery is complete, and take our hoop off. However, I guess because I'm lazy, when I want to go back to embroidery edit, I just hit my arrow with my hoop still attached, and it gives me this message of please remove the hoop. On the Pfaff it has cancel, but here on the Epic it has an X, and it will take you back into embroidery edit without having to remove the hoop. But now you can remove your hoop and get ready for your next design. So what we want to do, say we want to put in a different set of words. If we touch the layers panel, which is down here on the Epic, and on the Pfaff, it's up in the, it's up at the corner of the screen, and it looks like a stacked 3 pieces. That's your layers panel, and it's on the Viking, it's called the arrange panel or the arrange menu. If we just touch our word, then we can, it selects it and we can delete it. And we can go back to our font and we can select our font and type in a new word. Wrong, I used the wrong font. Cute, huh? Let's do the right one, block 10. Okay, and we'll type in love that way. All right, so, and then I'm ready to go to my scale icon, make my word as big as it'll go, put it in position, and I'm ready to start my next embroidery. However, if I just went to embroidery, because I have put the word in last, when I look at my layers, my word is now my 3rd design instead of my 2nd design. So on the Viking, you have this symbol here that has 2 squares, one darker, and a little arrow pointing up. If I touch that, it moves my word up, so it stitches out 2nd. And on the Pfaff, if you go into the layers panel, it will show you each design separately, and over to the left, there are 3 lines. If you touch on the 3 lines, you can drag that one into position. All right, any questions on moving your design around? Okay, so then now all I would have to do would be to touch go, and it would say, well, you know, it would bring me back to my settings screen, and it retains the settings that I had before of my color block merge and my thread cut setting. So it's kind of a lazy way, if you will, or an easy way to keep doing the same design over and over with a little bit of modification. All right. So now once we've got our heart done, I want to put some, I forget what we call it, but glue at 2 points on the heart. I want it here in the dip, and I'm using fray block, which is like, not Fabri-Tac, but fray check. It's like fray check. And this dries nice and clear. All the hearts that I have in my pile over there have this on them. And once it dries, you don't see it. And to make life easy, if you trim your heart with pinking shears, then you don't have to clip curves. Okay, so I'm going to trim them and leave about an 1/8 of an inch down here at the bottom of the zigzag from my pinking shears. So I'm going to trim my heart with my pinking shears. And when I get up here to the top, be kind of careful of going into the dip, that you don't snip the stitches on the other side of it, okay? It's a little thick where you've got the 2 pieces of the back overlapped, but this is why you did not trim the front of your heart fabric when you put it on. Now, because this is an inside curve here, I like to take, there's a straight stitch right here at the very bottom of that dip and clip within a couple threads of that stitch. And then I like to do a couple little clips down here at the bottom, the point of the heart. Then I'm ready to turn it wrong side out. And if you don't do that little clip at the dip in the heart, then you will get some puckers here. And what I usually do is to, let me see if we can get some light on here. Okay. Is to pull it and pull the, push the fabric out as much as I can. And then I hold it and I gently twist it. And that kind of loosens up the fabric in there. And once you press it, it'll lay nice and flat. So that's the heart with the pocket. In the instructions, I have talked about the design, the third design that I have given you, Heart 3, which would let you make this into an applique. It's a, let me bring that in. Let me just clear this thing here. Okay, if I bring in Heart 3, it is a satin outline. So instead of the differences would be that you would not use a back on it. You would hoop whatever you were going to put your applique on. You would go ahead and do the tack down for the batting. You would put your batting in, you'd trim it, you'd tack down your fabric, but if you're doing an applique, you would trim your heart fabric at that point before you stitched your letters. But then you would stitch your letters, and instead of having brought in heart 2 design, you would have brought in heart 3 and then done the satin outline to make it into an applique. All right. Also, I said in there something in there about that you could use the hearts as a pocket on something. You could just go ahead and make this and then stitch it onto a jacket, a tote, you know, whatever. So if you were going to do it as a pocket, then when you put the back on, I would suggest that you let the top one overlap. So you would put the top piece on first and then the bottom piece, and then you would use some steam-a-seam or hand stitch those two together. Because then if it was truly a pocket and your hand was going in and out of it, that needs to be stitched down. And it would be better that the top overlapped the bottom rather than the bottom overlapping the top as for the pocket. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. So any questions?
Yeah, when you do the heart and you put the other one on top of it, how do you is it supposed to be right on top of that? The green's supposed to be on top of the red lines? Exactly.
Yes, you will just go to, oh, let me do it for you, okay?
You know, I don't do this too often.
I know, that's okay. So I brought in my heart 1,
Uh-huh.
okay, maybe. Okay, so here's my heart 1, and I put in my letters.
Move your camera up a little bit, please.
I'm so sorry. Thank you, Mary. Okay, so I have my heart 1 design in,
Mhm.
and then I bring in my heart 2 design, and
Mhm.
it offsets it. So
Yeah.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here to my move function and touch the center of my control wheel, and it will center it in the hoop. So then it's in the right place.
Okay. You have to do that before you do the words. Oh, no, you don't.
Yeah, you would have put your letters in before you bring in the hearts 2 design.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I did not specify that when I was going through the instructions.
Yeah, you said to get them centered, but I didn't get them centered.
Okay. Well, I hope you got it centered before you stitched it out.
No, I haven't stitched it yet.
Oh, good. Okay. So,
So can you please explain why they aren't all combined?
well,
If we do the words, then we can just move them up, can't we?
if you don't have them as separate designs, they're not going to show up separately here and you can't move them.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure that out.
Does that make sense?
Yes. But once we have done it, we should be able to save it as a design, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's all. I want to make sure. Thank you.
But yes, that's why they're separate, so you can manipulate them into the sequence that works. I mean,
Okay,
otherwise, if I now I have the 2 designs in there. If I went in now and I put my words in, let's just do this. Okay, and now I go back and now my words are at the bottom. If I had combined them, I would only have one thing here with everything in it, and I could not get my words as my second I couldn't get my words before the tack down of the back. However, when you actually go to stitch that out, and let me do that, or at least bring it up. Okay, Krabby. Get my hoop on here so it's happy. All right. Now you see in the color block or the color list here that this green one, and that's why I made it a totally different color so it would kind of catch your eye. If this happens and you're in stitch out, then when it stops after stitching the tack down of the heart front fabric, you can just manually skip to that design, stitch out your letters, and then when it says that the design is finished, you can say, yeah, well, I know better, put your back on, and then manually go back to that one to stitch the back out or to tack down the back.
Right, but otherwise you could just move your love up, right?
If
Okay,
as long as you have kept everything separate, yes.
right, okay, thanks. Just want to make
Okay.
sure I understood. Thank you.
You do understand. You're good.
Thank you.
Anybody else have questions? You want to go ahead and stitch out a heart?
I wonder, could we put 4 at once in a hoop, or would that be not a good idea? Make a bigger hoop, or maybe it wouldn't work.
Well, you could.
Yeah, the fabric would get caught up, I suppose.
Oh, you want to do them all in the same fabric?
Oh, no, huh? I was just thinking, could I just use a larger hoop and make 4 at a time? No, I could change the fabric, but
You could. You just have to make sure that they're, far enough apart.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
If, depends on if, were you doing the same words on each one or,
No, I was just thinking, no, bring each and do each design. It wouldn't work. You're right. I know what you're saying. You'd have to do that in software, I suppose.
No, you could do it.
Huh.
Let's see. I don't know how big a hoop you have to have. Let's get out of here.
That 260 one, maybe?
Let's see. Let's clear this. Okay. Oh, let's select it and then clear it. All right. So let's see what kind of hoop we've got. And we're talking basically square, so we'll say 260 by 260.
Yeah.
And let's see how big. Okay, so come on. Fingers aren't working today. Okay.
The fabric could get all tangled up, though, I think, because of her 5 inches,
Well, it's 5.5.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But if I duplicate this and put it over there, and my little guidelines tell me I've got, well, I think you could do it, Sandy.
I might try that. I was just thinking saving stabilizer, but I don't know.
Well, you saw that I had a long piece and I was just.
Oh, I never thought. Yeah, you're right. Oh, gosh. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I don't even know where it went. Yeah, see, you are
correct.
I just have this long piece and then I can, when I hoop, I can hoop right next to the edge.
Yeah.
And keep going.
Might not be worth it. Thanks.
I do the same thing with, I use a big piece of the fusible fleece. And
yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, you could fit 4 of them in
These are it's darling. This is really darling.
It was fun. It was just, and it's something that's easy and it doesn't take a lot of time. It doesn't take a lot of fabric, but I think people would think it was kind of a neat idea. So that's why we have it.
I liked it.
Thank you. And if you want, if you want to use different fonts or you want to do 2 lines or you want your lines not to be straight, it's up to you. And I don't bother to cut my jump stitches on my words until I've got my heart turned right side out. And I don't cut the jump stitches on the back, or I just cut the whatever long strings or, long threads on the back, because if it is a pocket, then I don't want people to get the hands caught into the bobbin threads on the back. So I will clean that up a little on the back. Okay. But I don't cut the jump stitches between the letters because they're not that long that they would get caught. Anything else? And once you press them, then they're nice and flat, and you can put them in an envelope, put a little love note in them or whatever, and you have your Valentines.
My granddaughter's birthday is the Valentine's Day, so I'm putting a package together for her.
Oh, sweet. Are you going to make her some hearts to go in it?
Yeah, yes,
Good.
yeah, she'll be 8 years old. Goodness.
Oh my goodness. It seems like time flies.
Oh, yeah.
Could you please tell us how to move things up in the film strip in the icon?
Okay, when you, I don't know. When you touch on the layers panel,
Right.
okay, and it shows you a line for each color
Yes.
or for each design, right?
Right. That's where I'm at.
Okay, and on the left-hand side, there's a number and 3 lines.
Right. That's where I'm at.
And touch and hold on those 3 lines, and then drag that, drag that bar.
Thank you. That's what I was trying to just do it without holding it.
No,
Thank
you have to touch and hold.
Right. Okay. Thanks.
So you can drag it.
Got it. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. On the icon too, they put the, excuse me. On the icon too, they put the 3 lines on the right side instead of the left side.
Okay. Interesting. I don't know how you're going to keep all this straight.
Well, that's why, because my mind has forgotten some of the stuff on the icon with the
Yes.
icon too. That's why I've gone back to the icon manual and printed out some pages so I can talk to you intelligently.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Well, I'm going to go into my SewNet and see if there's some cute little things to add to this. Maybe a Cupid or something.
Yeah, that's
I'm
a
gonna
great
see if I can find something. Fun. Thank you. That's
Thank
why it
you.
works great to have both, because I can use the Epic 2 and then send it over to the icon.
Well, I brought up the library. This is
Yeah,
the
there you go.
library. What's
Okay,
on,
that's what I was thinking. Yeah,
and came up with Happy Valentine as a category.
that's what
Although
you searched? Happy Valentine?
I didn't even search. I just touched the icon for the library,
Okay.
and this is
Well,
what
mine
came up.
Mine doesn't look like that. Mine's on cross stitch for some reason. Okay,
Oh,
I'll just do Valentine and see what happens.
yeah.
Those must be the new ones they just posted, because mine came up with the Valentines too.
Oh, wonder why mine didn't.
And then,
Oh, when I put in Valentine, now look at my screen.
Wow. There's a firecracker heart. That's pretty funny. Let's put that in there.
Okay, that sounds like fun. Yeah, you don't have to put words. I mean, you can put whatever you want on the front of the
But
heart.
if they're little, there's room for something else too. I mean, they're not authentic that way, but they look cute.
Yeah, there's there's even more. There's a little teddy bear with a heart, a broken heart. I ended up with 153 designs for Valentine.
Okay, now how can you tell that?
How can I tell that I got 153? I just scrolled
Because
up.
you went all the way to the bottom? Oh,
Yeah.
let's see.
There is a Cupid. Come on.
What
Well,
number is the Cupid?
63.
Oh, I see 108 is a Cupid. Okay, there's 100 is also Cupid.
There may be more than one. Now that's weird. My 100 is
60.
2 birds.
Yeah, those are 50s. I think.
and my 100 is the firecracker one, so
Isn't that
Fun.
weird?
I'm in the same way.
That is amazing. Now, Mary, are you on your new icon?
I am right now, yes.
Yeah, so maybe that's why.
And which machine are you? You're on your Epic, right, Lee?
Fun to compare.
My firecracker is number 11.
I don't know what, I already put it in. I don't know what it is. Oh, mine's 18. That is crazy.
That's crazy.
There are some very cute designs out there, little hearts in a row, and yeah.
There's some
I-
cute things.
I've seen 2 Cupids. One's a solid design, more like an angel, and one's a baby type.
Yeah.
Yep,
Judy.
I see those too.
Judy, you guys are having so much fun, but I hate to leave you. This is fun. Thank you. You're having way too much fun, but well, we're going to a dance contest, so we've got to practice a little bit. So
Okay.
thanks. It was great. I liked it. And I
Great.
did do one.
Well,
I have wrinkles, so I'm going to do another one with
well,
I'll
it
do
helps
some
when
more.
you press it,
Yes, it will. It will. So I'm going to
because
send it to my
mine
mother
has
who's in a nursing
some
home.
wrinkles too. But
I might just do maybe a piece of flannel because my batting might have been a little, maybe a little thicker than it needed. So I might just
okay,
try
well,
flannel.
you know, this is one that I've pressed and it still
Oh,
has a little bit of a wrinkle right here. And I think that's due to the clips because
Yes.
there's, you know, it just is a dent.
Right, right.
Okay.
Well, thank you. And I'll see you next week, I think it is, for the Pfaff or something anyway.
The 15th. The
Yes,
15th.
yes. Goodbye, everybody. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
From
Good
hot
time.
Florida. It's 80 degrees in Florida. Bye.
All righty. Thank you, Sandy. Now you can, there's lips and all sorts of things on here. Oh, there's the other Cupid. That one. That one's quite a bit bigger than the the solid one. So if I bring in my one and then go to my library, I could bring in that one. Whoopsie, that one's a little large. But I like it. Stop it. That would fit. Kinda. Not real well.
There's some tulips that showed up that fit pretty well.
Then tulips.
Uh-huh. I put loved.
There's some roses, some balloon hearts, all sorts of things.
So did you just look under Valentine then? Because when I had day in there, it showed up with a bunch of Christmas stuff too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sometimes their search engine is a little flaky.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least, you know, they give you more rather than less, which is good. I wonder why I'm showing, like here, I see the same three, and this happens frequently, I think, that you see the same design more than once
Right.
on a search. Don't they have a candy cane heart?
Yeah.
Well, I kind of like the polka dot one. Let's see what size it is. That's kind of cute.
You know, some of them are small enough you can do both, a word and something underneath.
Yeah, and
Fun.
when you go into your words,
Mhm.
let's do something bigger here. Well, let's spell it right. Okay, see if I have, whoopsie, I didn't do what I was supposed to do. So let me do that again. All right, I don't want that. Doesn't matter. Okay, when you're in the fonts, you can shape your letters.
Okay.
Okay, so on the very above the keyboard, if you will, on the very left side, it gives you the option of doing something like that.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah.
And then, and you can change the spacing of your letters, which if you wanted them off to one side or whatever. And then you can, let me get rid of some of that stuff on the screen. You can make them follow the curve or stand up straight, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, that's neat.
I mean, so you've got some options, and if you had a second line of, let's see. Okay, I put sweetheart in there with a Q on the end, but that's okay. And then I wanted to say mine, and I wanted it at the bottom of the heart. I could shape it that way and put it down there. So
That's great.
So
Who
you've
knew that?
got a lot of options with your fonts.
One thing that we're talking about searching the library, which I had not done until right now, but you were talking about size. I put in Valentine and then I put in size and I limited the size, and it'll limit which designs it brings up. So if you wanted to make sure that it was, 60 by 60 or less so that you could resize it, it would come up that way. I've not tried that feature before.
Me either. And I just type in a name and go with that instead of using all the options that are available to us.
Right.
Thank you, Mary.
Good idea.
Something to remember.
Yes.
So how's your heart coming, Brenda? All done. Fantastic.
She's showing it out here. Let me see.
Oh, that's cute, Marilyn.
Let me see.
Yeah,
Oh, cute. Look at that.
That neat, awesome up, so I added UR.
That's good.
That's okay. That was why I said the thing about, setting your grid and then using it to line up your words so that if you made, several hearts, that the words were kind of in the same place every time, to use your grid as a lineup tool.
Oh, that lined them up.
Girl Foss, how are you doing?
Good, Judy. I have to sew in another room though, so I'm going in there now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's all right. Hey,
Okay.
one question. I guess I might have missed it, but you're using the fusible side. You're using fusible.
I'm
And
using fusible, please.
do you actually get that to fuse when you go ahead and you iron it out?
It will fuse, yes.
Okay. And so the fusible side should be placed up when you're putting it
Yeah,
down.
I was just afraid that it might leak through the stabilizer and glue the pocket shut.
Oh, yeah, makes sense. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Judy, this is Laura. I did fine, except I got my machine stuck on the pocket, so.
Oh, well.
Which has nothing to do with the class. It had to do with the operator.
Well, you could tape those, together.
Yeah, I think I will do that next time.
I just am in the habit of sticking my fingers in there.
Well, I had my finger in there and then I got scared and I should have just slowed the machine down. So,
Yeah.
So Judy, I can use this technique to add like words on top of any applique, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm learning.
If if you bring in an applique design, it's going to have like what I split out as heart 1 and heart 2.
Right?
They're not going to be split out, so you may have to manipulate as you're embroidering, you know, how your colors, which color you stitch when.
Oh, I see. Yes. Okay.
Okay, depends on on an applique. I like to do, I don't really want to usually trim my fabric until I'm ready to do the satin stitch outline, because if I'm doing a lot of embroidery inside of the applique, it
Yeah.
may pull that top layer in a bit,
Yep. And then you don't have it
and then
covered.
it doesn't, then your satin stitch or your whatever you're putting on the edge may not cover.
Okay. Thank you. That's a good hint.
And sometimes even if you can do the embroidery before you do the actual tack down of that top stitch, then that tack down is in exactly the right place.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
Okay. Just
Thank
some
you.
things to think about. Yeah, it's fun to play with the fonts and to move them around and curve them and different things like that.
Yeah, it's fun to learn the different things you can do.
It's amazing how much stuff you can do that we don't even use a lot.
I know. I think I didn't realize that till recently when I started attending all your classes on this in the software class. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's why we have the classes, so you
You
can
have 'em.
find out all the fun stuff on your machine.
I know. I've waited too long to learn that.
No, you
Never too
did.
late. I know.
I'm so glad you're joining us.
Thank you. Yeah, I switched work schedules, so I have every Friday off now, so it helps.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So Brenda's making more hearts.
Yes, me too. That's all I prepped for.
Okay.
And I see I trimmed too close, so I'll have to sew some on straight stitch.
Yeah, you just want to be kind of careful, but I really like that, if you will, like trick of trimming with the pinking shears on a curved thing, so you don't have to clip.
There's number 2.
All right. Oh, it's gingham. Cute.
Sort of. Yep.
Yeah, I was just going for the traditional look, but you certainly could use all sorts of, oh, those are adorable.
I don't have pastels.
Well, as you see, I used whatever pastel grunge I had. I used the back side. Shouldn't say wrong side. I used the unprinted side because they're great colors.
Yep.
And then I went and found or bought some extra pastels. Sew-ciety has,
Painting shears.
yeah, that's also an underused item in our sewing rooms, I think.
Definitely.
How's your heart, Miss Liz? Oh, your mic's not on. There you are.
There's one.
Okay, what does it say?
It says love.
All right.
This one will say hugs and kisses when I
All
get it trimmed.
They're quick and they're fun, I think.
And Sadie wants to go for her walk now.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, you better take her for her walk.
Yeah, she starts bugging me. My goodness.
They do that. I have a friend who has this built-in clock. At 5 o'clock, it's time to eat.
Well, then we have a thing about between 8:30 and 9 o'clock that she wants to go to bed. And, you know, I keep telling her, well, go to bed, leave me alone. That doesn't work.
She wants you to go to bed too. Yeah, they are amazing creatures.
Yeah. Well, ladies, it's been fun. Thank you again, Judy, for a wonderful project. Appreciate
Well,
it.
thank you, Mary, for your being here and for your pointing out that we can do more with our searches on the library.
Well, you know, every day we find something new, don't we?
We sure do.
That we go back the hard way. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go try to finish my epic and see if I got my sonnet straightened out.
Okay, well, I hope that it works for you. And
It will.
if it ever happens to me, I'll be calling you and say, Mary, what did you say to do?
Yep. All right. Bye,
Bye.
ladies.
Thanks.
Bye.
I'm going to leave too. Thank you so much, Judy.
Thank you, Brenda, for being here. Appreciate it. Have a good day.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And Judy, this is Laura. I'm going to sign off also. Thank you so much.
You're quite welcome. I'm so glad you have joined us.
Yep, you'll start seeing me more often. So thank you.
Good. That'll be wonderful.
Good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Judy. I think I'm going to go too. I'm having fun just playing with it, designing.
I can't wait to see your hearts or pictures of them.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Judy, here's my hearts. Oh, can you see it?
Yeah. There you
There.
go.
I have
That's
to
great.
press
I
him.
like it.
Yeah, I have to press him. Okay, I'll see you later.
All right. Take Sadie for her walk.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Judy.
Yes,
Hey,
Miss
Judy.
Marilyn?
I wanted to show you what I've been making.
Oh, good. What?
Can you see them?
Some little, are those Kimberbell baskets?
Yes. Look how many I made.
Oh my goodness. Are those for gifts?
Yep,
Or
they're
those
for
for
my
you?
kids. I made 7 sets of 4.
Oh my goodness. Those are beautiful, Marilyn.
More. This is for my grandson. It's got the Broncos.
Oh my goodness. You better not let Carol see those.
And then I didn't have more Broncos, so they're all different. One's baseball.
All the oranges and blues. Look at these, Carol. She didn't hear me.
And then here's my green ones.
All right. Put them in front of you.
There we go. There.
Oh,
And then this.
they're different shapes. That's great.
Yeah, I made hexagon and squares and 1 rectangle.
All right.
Then here's the last one.
Are these Christmas projects or are these?
These are for Valentine's Day.
Those are for Valentine's Day?
Uh-huh.
Will you adopt me?
Yeah, I decided to make 4. And the only one I made the tiny one was this one.
Oh, how sweet.
Yeah, because in this shape, they were really tiny.
I can imagine.
And this one has dogs on it.
Oh, cute.
So
You've been busy, lady.
yeah, but they were kind of fun to do.
I can imagine. You know,
I
once you
figured,
get started, you just say, well, I want to do this and I want to do that. And
yep, so there's I went from extra large to the small on each one.
wow, you did a great job.
Yeah, yep, I had to find some ribbon to go with them. So that's been my project.
Well, you
And
did. That's great.
yeah, and then I'm decided to make tree skirts for my grandkids because I may not be able to when they get married.
Oh,
So I have one of them. This is the picture of what it looks like.
oh, cute.
And I'm putting the binding on it. So how have you been doing?
That'll keep you entertained while it snows.
Oh yeah, it gives me something to do when it's cold.
Yes,
Hey,
yes, indeed. Carol?
Carol. Nope, she's not listening. I was going to show her my Bronco one.
You may have to take it to the store to show her.
Yep. Okay, well, that's fun because I was going to make the hearts for the grandkids too.
Oh my goodness. Well, at least they're fast.
Yeah, those are nice. I was wondering if you could do more in a hoop.
Well,
These
you
I
can.
So which hoop did you use to put them in? The biggest one?
The 260 by 260.
Oh, okay.
Do you have that one?
Let's see.
It's like the 10-inch square.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so I think you could fit 4 of them in there.
Okay, yeah, because I have the 260 by 350 or whatever too. So
Yeah. Maybe you could put, maybe not. You can try it.
yeah, I know. That's what I tried with these two to do it with more than one, and I did that too. So I'm doing a little more embroidery.
All right. Good
All
for
right.
you.
Well, thanks. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you for being here. I appreciate that.
All righty, we'll see you hopefully soon.
Okay, that'd be great.
All
Have a
right.
good day. Carol Foss, are you back?
I'm sort of in and out because I have to go into the other room.
Okay, are you doing okay?
Yeah, so far. Is it okay if I can on Monday? Can I go
You can
through it
come
again?
back on Monday.
Okay.
That'd be great.
All
You
right.
can
Well,
always
thank you. These are really cute, and you did a great job with your presentation as usual.
Oh, thank you, dear. I appreciate that.
No, you're welcome.
All
All
right.
right. I'm off.
All right. See you Monday.
All right. Thanks, Judy.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye.